today we will be going to the Louvre Museum. These are the time slotted tickets. One line for 10 o'clock and this is another time slotted for the 10:30. We will be going at 10:30 inside.
These are some beautiful sculptures that are made, and they are all made in the 15th or the 16th century. This is a statue of the 16th century of Mother Mary and Infant Jesus. The Resurrection of Christ. This was made in the 1550s, which is a statue of Henry II. It is supposed to be a decorative piece above the fireplace. This is a beautiful gateway. It's all sculpted with various pieces of art. This is an impressive funerary monument. It was actually made because for Henry Longville in the 1560s. beautiful painting of the 18th century is a very large image, all made on cloth and painted with natural colors. This is the bedchamber of the king, and it has been it was actually originally the bed palace of Napoleon, and later on Louis the 18th. Oh, wow. This is the dining room for the kings, and it looks so eloquent, so beautiful. The ceiling is painted, beautiful candle chandeliers. Paris has been always a fashion house. This is from the Christian Dior Haute Couture collection, and a fabulous crimson colored brown gown. A beautiful painting of the king, large life. This beautiful room shows delicate architecture, a large mirror, beautiful paintings. The ceiling is also adorned very beautifully with a large painting. There are sculptures, and all statues on the ceiling are a mix of the artwork as well as the gold sculptures. This is an imagery of the St. John Church on the Evangelist night. The base between the two donors and his wife. This is a portrait of Don Fresco di Moncada. Francis, portrait of the King of France the First, which was made in the mid 16th century. This is a very beautiful painting of the lace maker. It's made with one of the most natural paintings. It is one of the major attractions of the Richelieu section of Louvre. This is the famous painting of the money manager and his wife, one of the attractions of the Louvre Museum. in the Richelieu section. Now we are entering the second wing of the Louvre, which is the Sully wing. Famous painting called the Cheat, and this is actually showing the cheat towards the left hand, who's hiding the ace of diamonds under his belt, and very interestingly diverting the three people on the left side. It's one of the attractions of the Sully part of Louvre. This is the final clash of the troops of Alexander with those of the Persian king Darius. When you look at the architecture of the walls from the outside closely, you will see the lion, which is a symbol of power, and the crown, which represents the empire. This is a famous painting made by Jean Ristout. Made in 1732, it is a refectory of the Abbey of Saint Denis near Paris. of the Louvre, where there are, the cases in which mummies were saved. There's also a live mummy actually preserved over here. This is one of the rare live mummies that we see across the world, and it has been preserved for centuries. The technique used is that the lungs, liver and all the vital organs are taken out and separately preserved, and the body is dried by something similar to salt, and then it is wrapped around and preserved. This is a sarcophage of Ramses III. This is a very, very famous Venus de Milo. This is one of the top 3 attractions of Louvre and globally an attraction in the way this sculpture has come out. This very beautiful statue was found the way it is, and they feel that it looks very, very pretty even with the arms not there. The pose that you see them striking, one leg ahead, this is the pose that most women pose now, has come from this statue itself. The winged Victory is an example. It's made in the 1st to the 3rd century BC. It's an example of which is not intended to look in front, and it's very, very delicate artistry because it is 3/4 looking backwards, and the wings behind show the showcase of winds coming and looking backwards. It is made on the Greek goddess Nike. It's a French crown adorned by all the jewels. Below you see a dragon, a ruby and an eagle, all belonging to the French Empire. In 1816, Paul Nicholas, jeweler to the crown, was given the task of remounting the marked diamond, and this is made by him. This beautiful necklace and jewelry is a part of the emerald jewelry belonging to the Empress Marie Louise, second wife of Napoleon. Now we are entering this beautiful room which has the world famous Mona Lisa. Cannot wait to watch her. And a very crowded room. This is the large painting, a life-size painting of the Last Supper. It is bang opposite the painting of Mona Lisa, and it is supposed to be very special. This is the time when Christ was invited to a wedding feast in Cana, and for the first time he changed water into wine and showed one of his miracles. It's a beautiful painting from the Last Supper. Enjoyed in the spirit of freedom. This is the very famous painting of the Liberty, where for the period of 3 days, the kingdom of France was in upheaval and the king was overthrown. Around are the bodies of people who were thrown away, but this shows the power of the individuals who could fight for the freedom of France.